Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to be talking about some more volume finding. And today we're going to start off with a couple of sample problems, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the problems you're going to do for independent practice. So to get started off this morning, what we're going to take a look at is this problem right here on the document camera. And I tell you that this is a cube with 13 centimeter sides. And in this container right now, there's 1.5 liters of liquid. So how much more liquid is needed to fill the container? Well, I'm going to write a quick note up here to remind myself that 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. And 1 milliliter is equal to 1 cubic centimeter. So those are facts that are going to help me here. Now, this is a cube with 13 centimeter sides. So that means that the length is 13, the width or the depth is 13, and then the height is 13. So I need to multiply 13 times 13 times 13. Why am I going to do that? Well, that's going to tell me the full volume of this whole container, even though I know that the container is not full. It only has 1.5 liters of liquid. I need to know the full capacity of the container because of this question down here. So this is a capacity question, meaning how much space can I fill up? So let's find the total volume, right? So my total volume is 13 times 13 times 13. So I'm going to break it up into 13 times 13 first. And I get 169, which I now need to multiply by 13 as well. And I have 20. And I get 2,197. Now, 2,197 is cubic centimeters, so that also means that its total volume is 2,197 milliliters, right? Well, 2,197 milliliters. I know that the container has 1.5 liters. Well, 1.5 liters, if I move this decimal point 3 times, because liters to milliliters I multiply by 1,000, I'll show that conversion again. 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So I'm going to move my decimal point 1, 2, 3 times. So that's 1,500 milliliters. So now I can take 2,197 and subtract 1,500 to figure out how much space I have left in here. 21 minus 15 is 6, so 697 milliliters. And that's my, there we go. There's my final answer, 697 milliliters. So how much more liquid is needed to fill the container? 697 milliliters, and that is my final answer. Can I express this as liters? Absolutely. If I was asked to express this as liters, here's my decimal point after the 7. To go from milliliters to liters, I have to back up to the left 3 times. So I can swoop 1, 2, 3 times, and I get 0.697 liters. This question didn't ask for liters or milliliters or a combination of the two. So we're just going to leave our answer as 697 milliliters on this particular problem, and that's okay. So let's take that problem away, and let's take a look at this next problem. And here I have a rectangular prism, and let's just first take a look at this picture and understand what I'm dealing with. I have a rectangular prism. It's 18 centimeters long, 18 centimeters wide, and height is over here, 10 centimeters. So it's an 18 by 18 by 10. Now, the problem says this container is half full. So I'm going to draw that in as a dotted line very quickly. And I'm going to say this container is half full. Okay, this container is half full. I'm going to stop right there because I want to be thinking, okay, how much water do I have in this container? So if it's half full, I'm not filling the height of 10 centimeters up completely. I'm going to think, okay, half of 10, because I think about my height being half full, half of 10 equals 5 centimeters. So I'm not going to use 10 centimeters. I'm going to think about 5 centimeters. And that's how much is in my container. Let's read the rest of the problem just to see what I'm dealing with. Then 800 milliliters are added. So first I have 5 centimeters high, and then I'm adding 800 milliliters to the container. So that's not something that I can just tack on to my 5 or my 18 or my other 18. That's something that I need to think about when I find the volume of liquid in the container when the container is halfway full. So let's do that. Let's find the volume of a half-filled container. So 18 times 18, let me move this so it all shows up on the screen. 8 times 8 is 64. And 8 times 1, 8 plus 6 is 14. And I'm going to squeeze this in a little bit. 8 and 1, so my added answer is going to be 4 to 324. And I'm going to take that 324, because that's 18 times 18, and multiply by 5, which is my height. So I get 20, I get 12, I get 16. So I get 1,620 milliliters in the container when it's only halfway full. So in the half full container. The next step is 800 milliliters are added. So after I have my half full container, I add 800 milliliters. Well, conveniently, my cubic centimeters equal my milliliters, and I already converted to the milliliters in my brain. So I said 1,620 milliliters. Now I'm adding 800 milliliters, and I'm going to get 2,420 milliliters. Now let's say this question just doesn't want milliliters. Say this question wants liters and milliliters. Well, my answer is 2 liters, right? Read up to the comma, 420 milliliters, or 2.420 liters, because I just moved my decimal point up to the place where that comma is. I could also write this as 2.42 liters, because I don't need this placeholder 0 in the thousandths place. So thinking about these types of questions, I can really manipulate my volume and find fractions of one of my dimensions, particularly my height. Today, what you're going to be doing on your own is working through some independent practice problems, and we're going to shift gears very quickly over to our workbook questions, which are going to show up on the Google form today. So here's a cube, and it has 3.75 liters of water in it. We need to find how much water is needed to fill this tank completely if it has 20 by 20 by 20 sides. It's not filled right now, so we need to figure out how much more is needed to fill that particular tank. The second question we're going to take a look at today is a rectangular tank is 1/4 of the way full with water. So it's not filled 8 centimeters high. It's only filled 1/4 of the way. Then we're going to take that volume and add 1 liter, 400 milliliters. So think about what that's going to look like in terms of milliliters, because the answer you get when you multiply 20 by 28 by whatever your height is for the water, you're probably going to get cubic centimeters or milliliters for that answer. So you want to add 1 liter, 400 milliliters to that particular answer. Then we're going to be taking a look at some decimal volume as well. So thinking about, here's a base of 8, a height of 6, and a depth of 4.5 centimeters. So think about what multiplying by a decimal does to your work. So you want to be very careful about your decimal places and the size of your answers in this particular question. Same thing with this question over here, another decimals question, so be careful with that. How many liters and milliliters are going to be in this particular box right here? So we're looking for our answer to be expressed in a certain way. So make sure you read over the Google form very carefully for how that answer needs to be formatted. And then the final question we'll do today is taking a look at this problem. And this problem on the Google form will be broken into two separate problems. The first problem is going to ask you the first question. So this container is halfway full. We need to figure out how much water is needed to fill the rest of the container. Okay, so it's already half full. We need to know what the other half is going to be. And then after I fill up my container, I need to get rid of some water so that it is 1/3 of the way full. So that means I'm not finding just 1/3 of the volume. I need to figure out, if I have 1/3 left, what fraction of the container did I get rid of? So I need to think about that particular volume piece as well. So think about, what fraction did I get rid of? If I'm left with 1/3, how much did I get rid of? And that's going to be the big hint that helps you solve this particular question. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out.